normally what we'd see picked last year. Tidal Wave can certainly help out though, as Keen is thinking about playing something weird, but double circles is probably the most scary, and that is going to be coming through here.
We talked about the blind Ambessa earlier. My first thought was going to be Keen just playing Gwen into it. He opts into this choice almost every time he's given the opportunity to. He really likes this matchup, and it is a strong one for the Gwen. A lot of magic damage here on the side of Genji, but not a lot of options to itemize against it for D+, so it doesn't really matter, I think, in this scenario. Really strong side lane pressure here for Genji. Insane wave clear, and also range.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift, and already into a little bit of fighting here towards the bottom side of the map. As Korea with the ebb and flow is not necessarily going to be winning out. Potion going to be drank here by Korea, and Duro holding on to his. As Cosmic Binding just thrown at Smash, and Smash not even dodging it a little bit too clean. Like it was barely an advantage, but it was.
Could be.
I remember that skin was illegal though for a while. As Lucid goes in, gets a knock up onto Canyon here, audaciously charges and avoids the Aqua Prison. Now it's a Cosmic Binding for Lucid. Can't be.
Please stop getting Smash's barrier. Doesn't like to use it like that.
Well, he hasn't, so he's probably okay for now. Oh, public execution towards his top side as she's looking for the solo kill. Keen, couple more autos, but Keen turns it, never mind. Showmaker comes in and saves the young man in the top lane.
As we'll watch it again, it's really just about the ult here from Shu, getting a lot of value. Not to mention that needlework missing. Second one also. Third one hits. Oh. That stacked Q is kind of insane.
Yeah, just ludicrous amounts of damage, as well as the Conqueror really
is in the area. They're looking for a play topside. They cancel it though.
Yeah, Keen actually has the needlework back up, and Shiu doesn't have his ultimate, and so he's just dead. Solo bolo over to Keen. Very nicely played. And now Genji, Chains of Corruption do go wide, but they still manage to take down that dragon. Duro now magically journeys his way out, but Lucid not going to get stunned up here, as there is the boat flying out. The Tidal Wave not really going to connect, as now Showmaker in a very unfortunate position, does have to flash to get out of the way of Canyon, as now Lucid, he's looking to exit. DK, so DK, a little bit of a cooldown advantage for a moment, but I think that is going to not last too long, as in goes Lucid, in goes Canyon, Cataclysm, and flash out from Lucid. Looking dangerous right now. Keen throwing out the needlework once again, misses a bunch of those buttons, as now Shiu looking to try and turn it. There's the public execution. He's got one last one. Let's see whether Shiu can actually fight this. The answer is no.
Could try to get this crystalline overgrowth, but it's too risky. In fact, not going to get it, and also possibly going to be too risky.
It's Ambessa though.
He has
just dash and then do more dashes, as there it is. There's a knock up on a Canyon as well, who's delivered backwards. Duro throwing down the Tempered Fate, locks up a couple. Shiu not quite able to answer too much, as out he will go. Showmaker makes his way in though, as now Canyon gets his Triumph proc and actually keeps himself alive. The flash forward from Shiu, but there's the Cosmic Binding to hold him in place. Big ol' shield thanks to that Eclipse, as now Showmaker realizing with Chovy making his way in, he is probably dead, and tells his young top laner just to save himself.
Have control of this dragon for the moment.
Yeah, Lucid is going to walk up though. Let's see who's going to be able to win the smite fight. It is just going to go over to Lucid there. Locks up the Cloud Drake, as into the bubble goes the Xin Zhao. As wall is put down, Lucid in a lot of trouble. He's just dead. Does survive for quite some time and actually gets a lot of his health bar back, but still.
The smite timing here is, okay, hold up.
Yep, meanwhile in live, we have a very dead Chovy, or at least a very egg Chovy, until he's a dead Chovy. It's going to take a little bit of time, but there it goes, and that is a kill over to Shiu. The Ambessa ends up getting some resources here, and they're playing through him. As speaking of Shiu, yeah, he might be in a little bit of trouble here, I might add, as Canyon does go in. He just wants to get out of the way. Yeah, dashing is something that this Ambessa can do. Tempered Fate will be able to hold him in position, and the attempted juke is actually going to work to his detriment, as gets a bunch of shields, but still snip, snip. Here on the other side, so it's not just going to be that first hit that is the big one. I did not know that's how this started. That is very sad for Jovi. He just wanted to know what was going on. He knows though now, so I guess mission accomplished. Showmaker does have his Seraphs completed and transformed, so gonna feel good about this as
We're bringing everyone.
Is just going to get flashed on. There's the ulti to try and keep them at bay. Is Duro tanking up the turret nicely, and that should mean that the Ambessa does go down. Duro able to move out of the way for an outer on the bottom side, but Chovy is going to survive as Realm Warp is just going to get rid of the Rift Herald, who just crashes into a wall on the other side of the map. But Genji in position, they will start this one up, and it's going down pretty quickly, as Duro possibly stunned up here, and in fact he is, or at least snared by, okay, flash forward from Lucid. It is Canyon that locks down the dragon, as now Lucid is in the back of the pit, having to deal with Chovy, and Canyon wants to be able to flag drag his way out, but it's not quite going to work. Yeah, just taken out by the Xin Zhao, as now Xiu finds himself alone. Realizing that Smash, even though he has made it to 2 items, hasn't really been much of a part of this game, as Tempered Fate is going to connect here, but the flash does get Korea far enough away. Go shock that wave towards him. We'll be able to pick that one up, as Duro going to once again...
What it says on Showmaker's phone right now. I don't know what it means.
Oh, I wonder whether it means that Keen is going to be okay or not. As flash out of the way of Canyon, and Xiu, unfortunately, is going to be the one that dies. Get off the phone, because this could have been a soul that they would be fighting for. Is okay, there's a public execution right on top of Ruler, as Xiu, still pretty healthy, is now Keen diving on forward. They get rid of Xiu though, and Ruler is going to survive. So it's not exactly working out here for D+. As now Showmaker running around trying to avoid the skill shots, but he can't do any damage. The Gwen will finally go down. Showmaker lasts a lot longer than I think a lot of people expected, but that's 3 dead for 1. Feel like it's too little and potentially too late for them to really get too much done as the glacial storm goes up.
I just don't think this is the kind of game you can win unless you win a huge team fight swimmingly to get enough map control back.
Yeah, well, public execution on top of Canyon here. Does have the Crescent Guard to keep himself alive. The Baron is going to help take down this inner turret though. Wow, that's a lot of damage the Duro take.
That was big damage, but I don't think they care.
Oh, another Flat Rush coming in there as the Tidal Wave knocks up Chovy, but they just cannot get close enough.
Xiu doesn't have ult, so they're like, yeah, okay, you're gonna dash over to look at us?
Cosmic Binding does go wide. DK still wanting to get something done here, as there's the public execution on top of Canyon as Lucid dives forward as well. Great use of the Tidal Wave as the bubble is going to come through there. Chovy able to flash out of the way, and Showmaker into the backline wants to try and kill Keen, but he's so incredibly fed on this Gwen. Chovy finishes him off in the end, and Genji, they're just like an impenetrable fortress.
They just played it so perfectly. They left no margin for error. Now Lucid.
That's all right. DK back out onto the map now, as teleport is very short here for the Gwen. As Xiu goes in, so does Lucid though. Great Cataclysm as Tempered Fate to hold Genji in position, buying time for Keen as best they can. But Chovy going to go down as the Ambassador dancing around the fight. Canyon so close to dead, but Korea can't do anything about it, and he's going to get taken out. Into the backline goes the Jarvan, but why is Canyon still alive?
You think it would take 2 or 3 autos from Keen to kill that turret with Crystalina for
Yeah. Well, there's a public execution as Xiu dives in. They're looking to time it here as Canyon in a good spot right now.
Showmaker?
Chovy trying to dance his way out of there, but Showmaker gets a big old shield and it's just not enough. Both of them lying on the floor as now Keen taking matters into his own hands. Smash still trying to do the damage back as Keen this entire game was just about preventing DK from being able to play. As Smash will finally die for the very first time this game, right before his Nexus follows suit. That is going to be the delayed ace, and it will be completed. Nexus dies as well, and Genji